Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something pretty interesting. Metal Pay has, just started supporting XBTC.
That's right. And practically speaking, what this means for you, the listener, is it's potentially a much, much easier way to move your Bitcoin onto a faster blockchain.
Right, unlocking access to, the world of DeFi, decentralized finance.
Exactly. And it's important to note this is a team effort, a collaboration between Metal Pay and the XPR Network folks.
Definitely. So our mission today is really to unpack this. What is XBTC? How can you actually use this new integration? And maybe most importantly, why should you care? What are the benefits?
That's good. Let's start right at the beginning.
Okay, so what is XBTC? Let's define it.
Okay. So think of XBTC simply as Bitcoin's counterpart. It's a one-to-one equivalent, but it lives and operates on the XPR network.
So it mirrors Bitcoin's value.
Precisely. One XBTC equals one BTC. But it's built to take advantage of what the XPR network offers, especially for, DeFi and the whole Web3 space.
I've heard it called Bitcoin upgraded. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that sums it up nicely. It hints at the extra functionality you get. It's Bitcoin, but sort of turbocharged for these newer financial applications.
Okay, upgraded. Let's talk specifics. How is it upgraded in ways that actually matter day to day?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. Once you have your Bitcoin as XBTC on the XPR network, especially if you're using something like the Metal X decentralized exchange, you unlock a whole toolkit. You can trade instantly, swapping between different assets, super smooth.
Okay.
Even things like over-the-counter or OTC deals become easier. And then there's the typical DeFi stuff. You can lend out your XBTC, potentially earn some yield.
Or borrow against it.
Or borrow against it for liquidity, exactly. All those options open up.
Right, so that sounds like familiar DeFi territory, lending, borrowing, swapping. What makes this approach with XBTC on XPR Network stand out? What's the killer feature?
The real game changer here is the transaction experience itself. We're talking about, first off, zero gas fees. Zero gas fees. None of those fluctuating costs that can make small transactions impractical sometimes. And coupled with that, you get incredibly fast transaction speeds, like near instant.
Okay, hold on. Zero fees and lightning speed. That's a pretty stark contrast to, say, the main Bitcoin network sometimes, right? Especially when it's busy.
Exactly. Think about trying to do lots of small trades or micropayments. On the main Bitcoin network, the fees might make that impossible or just, not worth it. Here, that barrier is basically gone.
That definitely changes the equation for how you might use Bitcoin. Okay, so for someone listening who uses Metal Pay and is thinking, all right, I want to try this, how do they get XBTC into your Metal Pay account? Let's say they already have some on the XPR network in their WebAuth wallet.
Okay, yeah, the deposit process is pretty straightforward. First, you'll just open your Metal Pay app, standard stuff.
Right.
Then you head over to the Bitcoin market section within the app.
Got it.
Inside there, you'll look for the receive button or option. Tap that. Now, you should see different network options for receiving. You'll want to specifically select XPR Network.
Okay, so it's listed as a distinct network now.
Exactly. Once you select that, the app will show you your unique XBTC deposit address for the XPR network. And crucially, it will also give you a memo.
A memo. Okay, let's pause on that. Why is the memo so important here? We should probably emphasize that.
Absolutely critical. When you go to your WebAuth wallet or wherever you're sending the XBTC from on the XPR network and you initiate the send to that Metal Pay address, you have to include that specific memo Metal Pay gave you. It's like a routing number for your account. It tells Metal Pay, hey, this incoming XBTC belongs to this specific user, without it or with the wrong one.
Your funds could get lost or delayed?
Correct. The deposit might not credit to your account properly, so always double-check that memo field when sending.
Got it. So just to recap the deposit steps, open Metal Pay, find Bitcoin Market, hit Receive, choose XPR Network, carefully note both the deposit address and the memo, and then make absolutely sure you use that memo when you send from WebAuth.
Perfect. You've got it.
Okay, what about going the other way? Say I have regular Bitcoin sitting in my Metal Pay account, and I want to withdraw it to the XPR network so it becomes XBTC in my WebAuth wallet. How does that work?
Also pretty intuitive. Again, you start in the Metal Pay app. Go back to the Bitcoin market view.
Okay.
But this time, obviously, you'll tap Withdraw BTC.
Right.
Then Metal Pay will ask you which network you want to withdraw to. Just like depositing, you'll now see XPR Network as an option. Select that one.
Makes sense.
And the final step is just entering the destination account name on the XPR network. This would be, your WebAuth account name or whoever you're sending it to.
And is there a trick to entering the account name?
Just one small thing to remember.
Yeah.
Enter the XPR network account name without the @ symbol that's sometimes used, just the name itself.
Okay, good tip. No @10 symbol, so for withdrawal. Metal Pay app, Bitcoin market, withdraw BTC, select XPR network as the destination network, and then type in the recipient's XPR network account name minus the A1010.
That's the process. Pretty smooth.
Seems manageable. Okay, let's zoom out again. We've got the how-to down, the deposits, the withdrawals. But let's talk about the why again. What's the bigger picture? Why should someone listening, maybe someone who just holds Bitcoin and Metal Pay, be excited or at least interested in this?
Well, looking at the bigger picture, this integration does a really nice job of sort of streamlining how you manage your crypto life, especially if you're interested in both holding assets and dipping your toes into DeFi.
How so?
Metal Pay users can now effectively keep their Bitcoin alongside other big names like, say, Dogecoin, Ethereum, whatever else they hold, all manageable through one single on-chain wallet interface. The WebAuth.com wallet creates a more unified experience.
Instead of having things scattered across different wallets for different chains.
Exactly. It brings more cohesion. And the sources we looked at also mentioned something called X tokens by @Metallicus TDBN. That ties in here too.
Right. X tokens, what role do they play in this? How do they relate to XBTC?
Think of X tokens as like a standardized wrapper or format for representing different cryptocurrencies on the XPR network. So XBTC is the X token for Bitcoin. XETH would be for Ethereum, and so on.
Ah, okay. So it's a consistent way to handle different assets on that network.
Precisely. It creates a common standard. This helps make everything more organized, arguably more secure, and definitely makes your crypto portfolio more DeFi ready, because these standardized tokens can interact more easily with different protocols and applications built on the XPR network.
Like a universal adapter almost.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. It ensures everything can kind of plug and play within that ecosystem more smoothly.
So piecing this together, it sounds like Metal Pay is really trying to act as a bridge, maybe? Connecting the more familiar world of buying and holding crypto with the sometimes complex world of DeFi.
I think that's exactly their strategy. They're lowering the barrier, making it easier for someone comfortable with Metal Pay to start exploring what DeFi offers, using assets they already own, like Bitcoin.
And getting Bitcoin itself, which sometimes feels a bit siloed on its own network, onto a faster, cheaper chain like XPR Network is a key part of that bridge, isn't it?
Absolutely. It makes Bitcoin much more fluid, more usable for these, next generation financial applications. It's basically getting Bitcoin ready for the next level of DeFi.
This really could shift how people think about their Bitcoin holdings. Okay, so if we had to boil it down, what's the main thing our listeners should take away from this discussion today? What's the immediate thought or action?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that this capability is now live. If you use Metal Pay and you hold Bitcoin, this offers a new pathway. The call to action really is to maybe consider trying it out.
Like withdraw a small amount.
Yeah, exactly. Withdraw a bit of your BTC using the XPR network option. Send it to your WebAuth wallet. Experience the speed. See that zero gas fee transaction happen on something like Metal X. Get a feel for it.
And see if it opens up possibilities that maybe seemed too costly or slow before.
Right. Explore if having Bitcoin readily available in that low-fee, high-speed DeFi environment changes anything for you. See what doors it might open within the XPR network's ecosystem.
Okay, so just to quickly summarize for everyone, Metal Pay now supports XBTC. This means Bitcoin on the XPR network, offering key benefits like much faster transactions and essentially zero gas fees.
That's right.
You can deposit XBTC into Metal Pay from a WebAuth wallet. Just remember that crucial memo.
Don't forget the memo.
And you can withdraw your standard BTC from Metal Pay to the XPR network, where it becomes XBTC, by selecting the XPR network during withdrawal and entering the account name without the X straw.
Spot on.
And the bigger idea is that this helps bridge traditional crypto holding with the possibilities of DeFi, making Bitcoin potentially more versatile and active.
Perfectly summarized. And this really brings us to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to chew on.
Go for it.
Given that you can now have Bitcoin sitting on a network that's basically built for DeFi speed and efficiency with those minimal costs, how does that change your personal strategy? How might you manage or utilize your Bitcoin differently now? What new opportunities, maybe yield farming, faster trading, whatever it is?
Yeah.
What does this unlock for you specifically?
That's a great question to end on. Something to definitely think about.